Welcome everybody to this event for the SoBigData Academy. I'm Roberto Trasarti and I'm the coordinator of SoBigData Research Infrastructure. I will try to give you first 5 minutes of introduction about the research infrastructure that hosts the Academy. And so let me introduce you SoBigData, which is a research infrastructure, an European research infrastructure for social mining and artificial intelligence, which try to give tools to researchers, policymakers, or data scientists from industry in order to understand the complexity of society and trying to model it following also a vision of an ethical and legal perspective. In particular, we also care about the idea of an open science, which will guide the implementation of the tools we provide to our users. We are, let's say, a research project since 2015, and we are, let's say, growing in our communities, with our communities from computer scientists, but also from social scientists, psychology, economy. So we are really a multidisciplinary community as a whole. And we are focusing our research on those let's say 8, sorry, vertical research space, which is, let's say, social debate and misinformation analysis, demography, economy and finance, sustainable city of citizen, the impact of AI in our society, health studies, social and industrial impact of the next generation internet, pervasive intelligence, and disaster response and recovery. Over those 6 research space, we offer different kind of services to our users, which first of all are data sets, methodologies, technologies, or experiments that are done by our community, but also technological solutions, which are computational power, secure storage, access to various framework for developing their experiment. And one of the services that we will provide is the SoBigData Academy as our tool for training the new researcher, or to let people from different background to, let's say, empower themselves with some new knowledge. We are distributed over 14 countries, and SoBigData is coordinated by Italy, and involves several institutions all over Europe with very different, let's say, background and topic of research. At the moment, let's say we are growing up but we are producing many research papers, and we have many collaboration with different kind of stakeholders, from, as I said before, from researcher to policymaker to industry. So this is the context where we developed, let's say, our training material, and with, let's say, the aim of, let's say, transfer the knowledge that our researcher has to the final users. For this reason, I will leave the floor to Valerio Grossi to describe the initiative of SoBigData Academy. Valerio?
Yeah. Here I am. The Academy essentially is a long path from the start of the project, from 2015, and I want to introduce to you Sararelli, that will provide a lot of details about the platform, the rules for using the platform, and so on. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Oh, the floor
One
is
second.
yours.
Thank you so much, Valerio. Hi, everyone. I'm Sara Lelli, and I'm the learning designer of SoBigData Academy. SoBigData Academy is more than just another online platform. It's an opportunity to embark on a unique educational journey in big data and social mining, using Moodle, one of the most famous learning management system, as a platform. But why we think SoBigData Academy will be useful? First of all, we want to share the knowledge that we have as SoBigData research infrastructure, making it accessible to everyone, everywhere, thanks to online courses. We also want to promote open science with free specialist-led courses for all users. So we asked our specialists and researchers from our partners all around Europe to help us construct these courses for everyone, from basic level to more advanced one. We also did diverse and rich learning experiences, offering a selection of courses that assure a well-rounded education. So, as I told you before, the courses are from basic to advanced, and we will see later what are they about. We also wanted to create a SoBigData-backed certification program, providing a certification supported by our research infrastructure for learners, both in academic and professional growth. The partners we collaborated during these previous years and these years, and we are now collaborating for the courses are the following. So we have Scuola Normale Superiore, Università di Pisa, Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, Università degli Studi dell'Aquila, but also other European colleges and universities like King's College London, ETH Zurich, and Universität of Hannover. We also are collaborating with JANT, an infrastructure for educational network. So the courses we have now complete are the following. So we have basic Python, database, data analysis, legal and ethical aspects of data science, information retrieval, data mining and machine learning, data analysis with Spark, complex network analysis, and data theory and society. But we will have much more during the beginning of the next year. What are the principles of SoBigData Academy? First of all, we wanted to create a structured learning path for everyone, from beginners to experts that want just to have a certification. So we create those two distinctive paths since we do not have the specialists and researcher during our courses. They help us doing the materials and create the exercises and all the courses, but of course they won't be able to join the learning path with the students. So we create those two distinctive paths. The beginner part is one more structured, and it's divided by unit to help students go through the topics step by step, while the expert path just give the students and the user to the opportunity to go at the end of the course with the final test and the certification. In the courses, we also have diverse resources to support various learning styles. We have video lessons, and we have slides with voice recordings, or we do have text to read. And we try to adopt these courses into micro learning modules. So students, if they are university students or worker, would not feel overwhelmed by the knowledge we are sharing. We also put strong emphasis on accessibility. Since we do not have specialists and researchers during the courses, we created a peer education system with forums. we ask them to participate in these forums, asking questions or answering to their peers to support and to create a community. These forums will also be a way to ensure that specialists and researchers can help students if they need. So they will be also in the forum. We put strong emphasis also in a self-evaluation process, since it's important that the student understand if truly understood the topics of the course. So we create some engaging self-assessment tools with some interactive games like crosswords, memory, and fill in the blank. But also we create some quizzes with no time constraint or limited attempt, so the student can just do the quizzes many times as they want to see if they truly understand the topics. We also provide hands-on exercises with coding exercises to ensure that the practicing part is also inside the courses. As a SoBigData research infrastructure, we give the student access to Jupyter Notebook, an editor online that doesn't need any work from the student and the user. They can just use the editor there and code. Of course, at the end of the first attempt of each quiz, there will be teacher-provided solutions for the coding exercises if the student don't know how to solve them. We also have some gamification with badges. We have 5 badges, 4 are activity badge, and the other one is a completion one. And we have a certification at the end of the course. In here we have a video with the presentation, but I would like to share with you like here in live. So first of all, we go to SoBigData.eu and we click in the infrastructure. We just go to sign in, and here we are. There are lots of methods to sign in. I'm just going to use my academic, but we can actually just register. So I'm going to use my academic with the University of Pisa. I'm not a student there anymore, unfortunately, but I still have the access. So let's go here, and in the SoBigData Gateway, we have the training section with the SoBigData Academy. And here we are, log in using my account on SoBigData. So here we are in the SoBigData Academy home. We have a small introduction of the Academy, and if you click on the courses, we do have the 9 courses we have for now. Down, we also have the courses in collaboration with Jant, and the courses that will be available early in 2025. Let's say I'm a student and I want to start a data analysis course. Oh, sorry. Let's say data analysis with Spark. Here we are. Then I'm not enrolled yet, so let's just click on Enroll Me. And you can see the main page of the course. We have at the left side, we have the index, and on the right side, we have some blocks, while in the middle, we have the main center of the course, an overview with the description of the course, the learning flow, and the guide to Moodle if you're not very familiar with it, and the app section. In the learning flow, you see you have to do some activity before starting the course. So we have the handbook that actually explain the structure of the course, so the expert and beginner way. In the beginner way, we have the units, how they're structured, etc. We also have the badges and the completion badge. In here, we have also the contacts if you want. So let's go back to the DAS course, data analysis with Spark, and we see the forum, another presentation corner, how to use Jupyter Notebook and Spark if you have not used them yet, course dataset that I need to view because it's very important for the course, and then an initial set, the test that will help a student to understand their level, and finally we can select my level. Let's say I'm a beginner. Here you are. As you can see, in the left side of the course, there is the beginner path with all the units and the structures of them. We have the quizzes, the unit testing, interactive lessons and game, and so on, with also materials and slides. In the complete the course section, as you can see, there is the dataset that we need for this course, the final test, the top of the class badge, the final feedback, and the course certificate. On the top of our page, we can see also my courses, the courses I already enrolled, all courses, and the link back to SoBigData.io. Let's go back to the presentation. So I hope it's sharing my screen. Anyway, if you want, so please scan the QR code or go to SoBigData.io in the path that I showed you before and start this journey with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for this brief presentation, but I think it's quite clear to provide some glimpse to the users in order to start to take confidentiality with this kind of tools and so on. And it's important also to highlight the path from the website to the academy and how to reach our services from the main site. Well, we can go directly to the next session. I recall that the question and answer will be consented at the end of the presentations. And the next session is a sort of a showcase, actually only two brief showcase in this case. And I leave the floor to Riccardo Guidotti from University of Pisa. Riccardo, are you there? Would you like to share some experience and some idea and some...
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Share the screen if it works. Yeah, it should work. I will share later. So thank you for the invitation. And so I'm Riccardo Guidotti, Associate Professor at the Department of Computer Science, and I'm also the Director of the Master in Big Data and AI for Society of the University of Pisa. That it's a master born 11 years ago and have been always supported by the SoBigData project, born as a joint initiative and is treating indeed the teams which are treated on the SoBigData infrastructure. I would like to share with you this experience we did in providing some of the material for the SoBigData Academy, stressing the importance of having high quality material. That is always important, but material that is already done for a course that a teacher typically does live is not necessarily suitable or the best one that you can use for this kind of experience. This is true in general, but it is even more, we should stress this even more for topics like data mining, machine learning, AI, data science in general, which are topics having a strong theoretical component, but also a strong practical component that allows you to fully understand how to apply, use these methods, select the right ones when you perform hands-on session and you see examples. So typically, when we present a topic of this research field in live classes, either in presence or online, the slides or the notebooks that we show tends to be minimalistic, such that we can mainly capture the attention of the student, and it is the teacher that is going to explain the content of a slide that may be done only of a single image or just a few blocks connected by an arrow with few names. Or speaking about codes and Jupyter Notebook, I mean, comments is something that we typically do not provide, as the comment is done live while the teacher is also writing the code, but is writing only the code that should work and not the comments to that code. Therefore, if we cut and paste this kind of material and provide for learning sessions that are done by students alone, even supported in a peer environment, this cannot be correctly used, and many questions can arise on the compression of these strange figures which are not commented. Therefore, the material should be transformed. Typically, will become longer. Speaking about slide, we should try to have 1-2 concepts per slide, and this concept should be fully detailed, but we should not have a textbook in front of us, because the references to the right chapters and paragraphs of a textbook can be provided. Similarly speaking, for code, all the steps which are performed for something, for showing a graphic, for training an algorithm, should be accompanied with this kind of comments. So we should have clear definition, we should have concrete examples. Very often when we present an AI algorithm, we show examples on records, on people, on emails or whatever. Or we simplify it having dots in a Cartesian space. Well, this is not enough, having this graphic in a white slide without explanation. And I want to show you an example here of how our slides evolved from the version we used for the master to those that we provided for the academy. Can you see my shared screen?
Yes, we
Okay,
can.
this is a set of slides about clustering, about the centroid-based clustering. On the left-hand side, you have the old version. On the right-hand side, you have the new one. And so here we can see title, a single title, the algorithm, just bullet list, and then there is this example that becomes active only if you go to presentation mode, and you see the evolution of the black squares inside, that there is the example divided, okay? Then some details and still bullet list. Ugly formula placed inside, not explained, etc. On the right-hand side, first of all, we have an index. What we are going to see in this lecture, structuring and outline. It is typically not necessary live, because maybe it's presented in a spoken way or have been already mentioned even before showing the slides. So you can catch up with the evolution. And then simultaneously you have a short definition and you see the example. And while the example evolves, there are the steps that coming out one after the other, explaining what's going on. And with that, the student can understand the algorithm on its own without the need of the teacher. But I mean, sometimes it is also necessary then to move to textbooks to better understand some of these aspects. So to wrap up, I think that in this situation, the teacher should serve as a sort of bridge between the teaching moment and the independent learning. They should help the students by realizing that the material in such way, concept and notion can be assimilated in an independent way, and referring all the necessary textbooks, API, and whatever. And that's it from my side.
Thanks a lot, Riccardo, and thank you for the example that clarify exactly the work that was done, let's say in the past months, actually more than 1 year, by Sara in let's say reorganizing this work from experts like you in the field and producing this self-learning way of let's say using the material in a more efficient way by our users. We have another let's say research expert in the research field that work with us, Mark. Please, the stage is yours.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really want to start first and foremost by thanking Sara, not only for her great patience, but all of the hard work that you've done to really realize this important aspect of SoBigData, which helps us to kind of reach out ideally to a much larger community, to a whole set of people that are actually already working and studying in the field, but ideally maybe people that are curious, people that want to learn more, that are coming from other disciplines. And really, I mean, without all of the work that you've done, we would never be at this point. So thank you very, very much for that. I have some slides, just a couple that I want to show. I guess, you know, what I really, I think the most useful thing that I can talk about is less about the content in the module on data and society that I put together, but rather to get us to think about what is the so big data research community that makes the research infrastructure an active and kind of dynamic group of scholars. And I think, you know, if I were to go back to 2015, I think that we could say that this was a much more kind of traditional, it was really focused on data mining and data scientists. It was an earlier, maybe we could say more innocent moment for social data analytics. And I think that the kind of the societal impact beyond the kind of an instrumental understanding was maybe at best a bit of a curiosity. I think that's clearly and demonstrably changed, evidenced not just by my module, but by the kind of the ever-changing focus of the research infrastructure, where the kind of societal impacts are really now front and center for our understanding of, you know, what our mission as a research infrastructure is. So, like, really quickly, for the course that I put together with the help of Marco Braghieri is to kind of look at different aspects of data and society. And we start with something really simple, something that is maybe taken for granted in many ways by people working in the field, but which I think is necessary to help people to understand the ways in which their lives, in which the world in which they live gets translated into discrete data points, which then get subjected to different forms of processing analysis, and which in turn impact them. So getting students to or people to think about this process of datafication, this turning of our everyday lives into discrete data points, in thinking about what's the nature of that data. If we don't think about that too much, then we tend to perhaps think about data as being objective. And if we don't question that critically, then that can lead to blind spots, which maybe later downstream lead to perhaps different kinds of bias or discrimination, or outputs that are problematic in many ways. Or basic concepts of thinking about, like, what is the notion of a data assemblage? So in other words, how do we go from thinking from a discrete data point to the infrastructures within which those data points are embedded and then actually generate kind of value and insight and so on. And that's also kind of useful for us, I think, as a research infrastructure, because again, we have a kind of an instrumental job where we need to develop as strong and as functioning a data infrastructure as we possibly can, a research infrastructure. But I think we're moving toward and maybe a more mature understanding of that, and we try to reflect that in the content of this module, where we can kind of think about, well, what do data infrastructures mean in society in relation to power, in relation to how that might bring more social good, but also in ways where that might lead to different kinds of harm. And so like a very major area, and this is something I think this wasn't on the radar when we started in 2015. We weren't really thinking about bias and discrimination. Accountability maybe was always there broadly in thinking about kind of, you know, responsible data science and so on. But we've come a long way because we've needed to come a long way because the kind of the field that we work within is being so impactful on a societal level, and we see so clearly that, you know, in the simplest terms, you know, models train on data sets contain categories of people. Some of those categories are protected classes. When the automated decision making generates an output, some of those outputs disproportionately impact certain populations on the basis of those protected classes. And this meets a kind of a legal threshold of discrimination, or it reaches a kind of a societal understanding of bias. And then we need to kind of understand how we can adjust our models and our algorithms so that we can mitigate against societal harm. So we are looking at a lot of well-known examples. Compass is a use case that has been widely studied also by many others within the research infrastructure. And I think that this helps our students to better grasp the range of societal issues that are necessary for us to take an active, responsible, and well, proactive approach to data science, and to ensure that not just humanities or social science researchers, but that data scientists themselves have that strong grounding toward social good. And then just one last example, even just thinking about the emergence of neural networks, and then thinking about those on a more conceptual level in terms of shifting from, broadly speaking, and if I'm teaching this in this module, this section of this course, we would have students to think about earlier paradigms of artificial intelligence, because we want them to try to gain an understanding of how do machines think, how do machines see us, how do they calculate society, and that there is a shift from like overlaying, let's say, human modes of thinking on a symbolic level toward, sorry, this is what happens when you get a phone call in the middle of a presentation. Let me just get back to where I was. Yes, right. And then instead thinking how there's a shift away from kind of human cognition as a basis for machine learning to artificial neural networks, which then break down that symbolic content, and, as we say in this section, turn the entire world into an horizon of calculability. Okay, so anyway, and then we've got quizzes and so on, and I think I'm running out of time. So I'll just say thank you very much, and it's exciting to be a part of this. And again, thank you, especially Sara, who's put so much time into this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. I mean, it's very important what you described, also highlighting which is our perspective, let's say, as research infrastructure, that is not only a matter of, let's say, giving knowledge about tools, but also the effect that tools may impact society, on which can be the responsibility of a data scientist, as data scientist, that let's say handling very sensible data sometimes. So and let's say learning these from experts like you, actually, it's very valuable for our users. So thank you very much again. And I leave the floor to Valerio, that will give us also a description about the connection that we have with other networks.
Yeah, thank you, Roberto, and all this picture. Now you should see the slide, yeah, because I have a lot of windows open, but in this case, we complete this overview of the Academy with an important collaboration we established during this year, during this last month, actually, after our presentation to a conference related to academy learning and training around Europe. And in this case, what is Giant or Jean? It is France, essentially. Is a network. They represent a network of educational center, and they provide also services related to education. In this case, they do not provide only courses, but they provide a complete offer of services from connection and connectivity to the educational center. They provide also dataset and system for sharing dataset and transfer dataset for a center to another, and many other services for all the aspects related to education and research in Europe. They are really diffused in Europe. But in this context, we want to highlight our collaboration related to the street collaboration with the Janta A Academy. Essentially, they, in this case, provide a lot of courses, and they have a big network of researcher and institutions. Well, how can be done the access to their courses? They can be simply access at the moment, but we hope in the future also having the access directly to SoBigData from SoBigData Identity Manager. Essentially, if you want to go to access the course of Jean, you can use, for example, EduGain network with your email, with your address, and you can simply add your credential, and then you can access in the courses. They provide a lot of courses. These courses are, on one hand, could be technical, more related to a specific skill related to software development, to network, and on the other, they provide also courses related to professional competencies. Under this view, it's important to show how this provision complete the courses provided by SoBigData. Since, for example, in our course, we do not provide courses related, for example, on how to manage a CSV file or how to manage other kind of basic file. But in this case, with the support of Giant, we complete our proposal, and on the other side, we increase the provision of Giant courses with more advanced course. As Sarah already presented, we have a really advanced course that enable the user also to increase more both technical skill and professional competencies. And this is the fact that enable and help both infrastructure to work together and complete the offer of both providers. Essentially, this is only an example of a course provided by Giant. In this case, is a network automation academy. And as you can see, there is a lot of very low-level aspect, but also more higher aspect. And all these aspects will be integrated with SoBigData courses. We expect in the next future that the courses presented by Sarah, the SoBigData courses presented by Sarah, will be integrated into this kind of pathway in order to understand how every course is related to a specific pathway. For example, in this case, as I said before, there is also courses very low level, for example, highlighting data format, XML, and this kind of tools help also our courses to be more complete and so on. What we expect for the future, essentially, the several courses that we expected to be important for the SoBigData Academy are already accessible through our academy. You have to simply click and provide your credential. And in the future, we expect also to integrate our identity manager in order to avoid to insert a new credential, but simply using the SoBigData identity manager. So I am okay with this last presentation, this last slide, sorry. Roberto, I give you the floor, and I check if there are some questions.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Valerio. So if there are questions, please.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm checking our channel. Yes, I don't know if there are here in chat. I don't see any question, but in our channel there is at least three questions that I tried to summarize. The first one is, what is the frequency of publication of new courses? I don't know if Roberto,
I'll try to
you can provide
answer.
some details on publication periods.
Okay, so actually, the idea is to publish every 4 months, let's say, a new set of courses according to the agenda, to our agenda. So the first new release of the courses will be the, let's say, first months of 2025 with and actually we highlight the set of courses that will be released soon in the list of courses. So you will have a preview of what will be the next release. And yeah, that's more or less the frequency.
Good.
Okay.
There is another question about the environment. Essentially, the question is if the environment enable, or if enable where is possible to do practical exercise, to have also a shared space where the user can do practical exercise and so on.
So actually, I mean, the good things of having an academy linked to a research infrastructure actually is the possibility of using all the tools that the research infrastructure, SoBigData research infrastructure gives to the users in order to, let's say, apply what you learn in the academy. So you can use our SoBigData Lab, for example, which is a Jupyter notebook where you can run some experiment, and all the exercises that you see in the academy can be executed there in order to test what you learned or to answer to some questions that are posed by the courses. And there you will find also all the libraries and all the things that are required in order to complete the exercises.
Good. I leave the most practical question for last, and this question is really practical. One user asked, "Is the academy free of charge? Is expected a fee, or what do you expect on this point of view?"
So yes, I mean the SoBigData Academy started exactly as a sub-project exactly for this reason, because we have many researchers that work in the field of social mining with material that can be, as we said before, processed and enriched, and can be used in order to provide courses of high level to our users, and the idea is to provide it for free in the context of the project. And so yes, I mean the access is required an access, because I mean we need to take trace of the users but actually the account is open to everybody and it's completely free.
Okay, there are no more questions.
I
I
have
think
a
we
question.
are in time. So
I have
there
a
is a
question.
question from the
Please.
audience.
Yes,
Fabrizio.
yes. Actually, I apologize if this question has been maybe answered before because I missed a part of this presentation. But my question is the following. So is the SoBigData Academy soliciting course proposals from researchers associated with SoBigData? Or is there, because it's... So I haven't understood whether there is already a preset program or whether there is, say, a program committee that is going to evaluate course proposals from researchers.
So thank you for the question. Actually, this is very, very important. We started with a set, let's say, an initial set, also to, let's say, guarantee a sort of learning path that start from the very beginning. So Python databases in order to reach let's say, more specific topics. But yes, that's completely open, and there is a committee, an internal committee in SoBigData that evaluate the proposal of new courses, and those courses are, let's say, there will be a calendar of implementation and work together with the researchers in order to complete them and to publish them. So from you can use the various contact of SoBigData in order to propose a course, and this will be evaluated. And I mean, more important, it's also, let's say, understood when it can be implemented, because there is some, as we said, some work together with the researcher and let's say the need of publication of other courses in SoBigData.
Thank you. I have a sort of another question. Maybe again, I don't know if it has already addressed before, you know. So since this is essentially a course on the part of the teacher, means essentially providing self-teaching material. Are there mechanisms in place for the teachers, the tutors, to receive feedback on what, you know, on how learnable the material is?
Yes, definitely. I mean, that's the hard job of Sarah Lelli that you maybe you missed at the beginning. And actually, we think that in order to have high quality self-learning material, actually there is a manager of that is Sarah, which is an expert in let's say, taking the raw material, let's say the slides or other material, teaching material that a researcher has, and following some steps, some feedback in order to say, okay, this is okay, this should be, let's say, more should be enlarged, or more you need to specify better a glossary, for example, in order to better specify the meaning of some of the terminology in your courses. So there is a first step of pre-processing of the existing material with Sarah, between Sarah and the researcher of the courses. And then actually, once the course is published, there is also a forum. And so you may receive also feedback from the students saying that this is not clear or something like that, which may trigger, let's say, adjusts the material in the case that it's not.
Understood.
But the big work is, let's say, before publishing something, in order to guarantee that the quality is enough for the for the academy, for the self-learning. That's the important concept.
Thank you.
Okay. Other question from the audience? No, I don't see other question. We are in time for salute. Roberto, would you like to say some last words?
Yeah, so thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for attending this event. I hope that let's say this is also recorded and will be published on YouTube. So if you see this from YouTube, actually you can find the link for the academy. And let's say let's see how this initiative may help the students and let's say the community of SoBigData as a whole. Thank you, everybody, and keep it updated.